When I tell you that I used to play video games, holy shit. Okay, let me tell you, it was bad. I was down bad for a good 2 years. A good 3 years. For reference, right? I started playing video games when I was about 7, 8 years old, and it got really bad when I was about 13, 14. That's when I was at my peak in terms of playing games. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I would get up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., not to be productive, bro. I would get up to play before school. Like, I would purposely set my alarm. Like, I would cut my sleep. I'd be sleeping, yeah? And I'd naturally wake up like at 7 o'clock on a school day, yeah? I would purposely wake up at 5 a.m. I put my alarm on, and bro, my body was so in tune that it would wake me up like at 4:55, and I'm like, oh, well, my body just knew to wake up. Like, my body was so ready to get up to play video games. It was like, alright, let's go, let's get it. I had the alarm on. Often I wouldn't even need it, right? And I wake up at like 5 o'clock, and I would sneak downstairs, right? So my parents would have their room and the stairs was next to it, and like I'd be like tiptoeing downstairs, like I'd be trying to put my feet in the right position so that my feet doesn't, like, you know, cause like a little creak in the stairs. I wanted to be silent. I wanted to just go through, no hassle, and I would like get my foot placement perfect so like the stairs didn't make a sound. And I would get downstairs. You know how you like, do you know how you like open the door like really like gently? You like push the handle all the way down so there's no sound, and you just open it. Like I would do that basically. I would sneak in, and I would put the PS4 on, get my controller out, stick my little earphones headset in, and I would just be like, alright, let's play some Destiny. Like, it was bad. It was not good. Okay, and I did that consistently. Like, I would do that like 3 days a week because my parents were like, you can't play during the week. So I only had Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Even Sundays, it was kind of hard to play because they were like, oh, school tomorrow, so, you know, you can't play. But I honestly, like, Fridays were my favourite day of the week. Like, I remember I would always get home at 4:45. 4:45, that is the moment I would get home. The first thing I do, I take my shoes off and I go turn the PS4 on. Then I go to the toilet. Because I'm like, I'm going to maximise my time. So I'm going to turn the PS4 on first, and then I'm going to go to the loo. So by the time I get back, it's already started up and I've saved time starting it up. Like, I was that obsessive. That is not healthy. I don't care what anyone says. Like, that is not healthy. And I was crippling addicted to that. It was basically all I did was play with my friends, who a lot of them I didn't even know. Like, I knew one guy from my old school, and then I ended up just playing with all of his friends. So I didn't know any of them. But I would just be so excited to get on, right? Like, it was the highlight of the week. I was like, I'd be looking at school, and on a Friday, let me tell you, on a Friday, I would be like, that's the fastest I've ever walked in my life. On Fridays after school, bro, I was just on it. I was on it back home. Load it up, get on with the boys, and that was it. But how did I stop? Because I'm not gonna lie, if you're this far in now, right? We're about, 4 minutes in, whatever, yeah? If you don't want to quit, if you don't think video games are bad, like, if you think they're still good, and you're not trying to limit your timings to eventually the point where you don't play them, then this isn't for you. If you're one of those people that use video games as a cope, right, and you're happy with playing it still, then just click off, because I don't care. Honestly, like, you're not part of this, alright? This is for the people who play and they want to stop it. They want to level up, they want to take this shit seriously, and they are happy with making the sacrifice of not playing anymore to level up. To just put their life in the next into the next tier, basically. So I think I clocked like 2,000 hours on Destiny, which is like 4 months or something like that. over the course of like 2 years. Over the course of 2.5 to 3 years, I clocked 4 months. Are you, like, bro, okay, let's just do the maths on this real quick, yeah. Let's say it's 3 years, yeah. That's 36 months, 12 times 3, yeah, that's 36 months, right, yeah? That's 36 months. 4 of those months, I was playing Destiny. And let's just say that I sleep for 8 hours a day, which I don't, okay? Let's just say, that's 24. That's 24, months out of the 3 years that I'm awake, alright? Out of that, I played for 4. Bro. 1/6 of the time I was on Destiny, bro. Like, that is a madness. And then forget school, right? So, most of the day, I'm at school. So, like, out of the time where I have the option to play, it was probably half of the time that I even had the option to play, I would play. And I would make more time to play it. So let me tell you, right? From someone who was that down bad to now someone who doesn't even think about it. Like, even when I stopped playing initially, I would still watch YouTubers who played the games that I did. Like, for probably a good year, I would still watch. Like, I would still watch Overwatch YouTubers. I would still watch Destiny YouTubers. I would still watch Rocket League YouTubers. But eventually, I stopped caring. But from someone who's gone from literally taking every and any opportunity to play, even if it was by myself, to someone who just doesn't play at all now. Like, I haven't played a video game by myself in probably like a good 2 years. Like, properly. Like, on like a PC or on like a console. Actually, no, I had one day in summer. Last summer. Last summer was the only day. There was one day last summer where I said, you know what? I'm going to whip it out. I'm going to play for one day and that's it. And you know what? To be fair, I got it out. I set it up. I bought PS Plus, whatever, so you can play online. I bought it for a day. I played like 8 hours that day and I haven't played it since then. I literally packed it up and that was it. And it's just sitting in the corner. It's just sitting in the corner every day. Like, I don't even think about it. And I don't play anymore. That was the one day that I played. I said to myself, I'm going to play today, and that's it. And I literally stuck to it. I literally packed it away, I put it in the box, and I haven't really touched it since. I literally have not touched it since. So, I can tell you, I'm glad that I did make the change, but how do you actually do it? Alright. Like everything, I think the concept of progressive overload can be applied to everything in your life. In this regard, it's going to be progressive deload, right? We want to reduce the time we're playing. We don't want to increase it, right? We want to eventually get out of it. Now, for me, I do have to thank my dad here, because when it came to year 11, so GCSEs, he literally said, you're not playing this year. Like, I don't care. Like, you're going to study. You know, like Asian parents, as you do. So, I didn't have a choice. Like, I had to just be mentally ready. So he cut me out. Like, I was cut for year 11. The whole year I couldn't play. My friends still played, and I did still watch stuff, you know, on my phone. And when my GCSEs ended, bro, the day that it ended, I was so ready to come back. Like, I was fighting. I still had the addiction. I was fighting it so hard. But I think it did definitely diminish a little bit over that time. It still wasn't as strong as it was. But, like, I got back after my last exam. It was maths. I got home. I got my PC out. And, bro, I just installed all the games. Like, I updated everything. And I pretty much played, like, non-stop for a good couple weeks. I played non-stop. But that's kind of all I was doing. And I ended up going to some courses, meeting some new people. I got my first girlfriend. And that kind of, like, started changing things a little bit. And then I started going to the gym. I started finally working out. Because I kept saying to myself, after year 11, I'm going to go gym. And I actually did, to be honest. Like, I wasn't lying. So, my priorities started to change. And then when year 12 came for A-levels, my dad again was like, alright, you're not allowed to play. I was like, you know what, I've done it last year, I'll do it again. And I was starting to enjoy gym. So you know what, I do have to thank my dad in this regard, because he did put his foot down. He put his foot down on me. But now, I still have the option to play. I've got my PC right here. I could load up any game I wanted to. I can buy any game that I want. Like, everyone's talking about like Elden Ring or some shit. Like, I don't know what it is, but I've heard about it. I can load it up right now and start playing it. I heard it's really good. Does that mean I should? No. Because the habit's kind of been enforced now. Like, I've kind of just maintained it myself. I don't really think about it that much. You want to progressively deload it. If you go in cold turkey like me, like I did, right? Out force. Like, my dad stopped me out force playing. It wasn't like I chose to stop playing initially. Out of force, I wasn't allowed to play. That works when you're held accountable. My dad held me accountable. I.e., he literally got rid of it. Like, I didn't have the controllers. Like, he just took them all away. He didn't get rid of it, but he basically hid it. And he said, you can't play anymore, right? So, it was pretty much out of my control. And I had nothing to really do. So, all I did was supplement it with YouTube. So, it didn't really... I mean, like, I stopped playing myself, but I'd argue that the addiction just got substituted by YouTube. It just got replaced. So it didn't really fix anything. I mean, I guess it kind of did stop me playing, but I ended up still just watching YouTube all day anyway. So I don't really know if it was the right call. Maybe something more gradual. I don't know. But if you are going to go cold turkey like that, you do need to be held accountable. Like, it's not easy. Like, it's like going cold turkey on no fat. Like, the first time you do it, it's going to be like hard. Like, if you go from doing it a lot to just going zero, like, that's not easy, bro. It's a habit. It's a destructive habit that you've built up. Like, bro, it's funny when people tell me that fapping is good for you and all this shit. Like, I'm just like, bro, just shut up, bro. Honestly, like, I'm gonna make another video about this, but people who are like, you know, all about the prostate cancer and all this stuff, and like, oh, it's good to pleasure yourself and all this shit, bro. I swear I was the exact same. I was the exact same. Like, I said to myself that, oh, if I just do it like once every couple weeks, it's fine. You know, like, I'm still suppressing the urge, and I'm still, you know, I'm not going to get prostate cancer, and I'll be fine. Like, that was my cope. That was my cope, basically. Like, I just coped for like weeks. Now I'm at a point where, I mean, I haven't done it in like quite a few months now. I had one urge like a couple days ago, actually, but I fought it. It was very, very strong though, and that's kind of what happened with video games. Like, I would just get impulses like I want to play right now. Like, it was withdrawal symptoms. It was withdrawal symptoms, basically, was what it was. And I'd get impulses to play whenever I'm bored. Like, I'm like, all right, let's go. And like, oh, it'd be such a bargain with my parents, man. I'd have to beg to play. I'd be like, okay, if I go do some work now, after dinner, can I play for just like half an hour or some shit? And I'd extend it to the max. Bro, it was not good. It was honestly not great. And I'm glad I have stopped, because my life has definitely improved significantly because of it. But if you are trying to quit, you want to progressively deload it. Like I said before, if you play every day, try play every other day right now for a week. And if you can find somebody to be accountable with, like, if you can find someone who is at a similar like addiction level to you, like you guys play similar amount and you guys both want to improve, if you guys can be accountable to each other, that makes things a lot easier. Then it's like a bit of a competition. That gets a bit of that masculine competition. I'm assuming you're a guy watching this, because, bro, my female audience is like 2%. All right, so if you are a female, though, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. But anyway, you get that kind of like masculine urge to be competitive with one another, right? So I think in that regard, it can be quite helpful, and you may actually just figure out that you don't really want to do this anymore. You come to your senses. Because it is a bad habit. I mean, like, it's not going to help you long term, okay? Like, there's better stuff you can do. Like, socializing in real life is only going to help you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to take away from anything. This is going to take away your mental capacity. It took ages, though. It did take ages. Even now, right? I still have my old gaming channel. It's still there. I mean, like, for some of you guys who know me personally, you guys will know the channel. I'm not going to say it right now. Might do another video. But I have all my old videos there. And you know what? I still kind of like the nostalgia of like looking at it. I still like watching the videos occasionally of like my past self. And because you know what? I did really enjoy playing. Like, the moments that I had with my friends, I don't really regret it. I mean, I don't regret it that much, to be honest. Obviously, if that time was put like working out, I'd look like a Greek god right now. So, like, I'd be bigger and I'd be leaner, like, but I didn't, right? So it is what it is. You just have to keep going. You just have to keep going from where you are. That's the thing, because everyone has different starting points. Yeah, you could have started yesterday, but you didn't, so start today. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to just be so nihilistic about these kind of things. So if you want to quit, find someone to be accountable with. Like if you're dead serious on like, I want to stop this, like I want to take back control of the things that I'm doing with my time. If you're dead set on like getting rid of this, then find someone who you can be accountable with. Progressively deload together. And that's my best advice, really. Like, when you have the urge, you have to fight it. I have, like, my problem right now is with my phone. Like, I still get urges to watch YouTube and shit, like when I'm bored. And I'm like, what do I do instead? Like, I know it's bad, and I'll do it, and I'll know it's bad. I'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna like be a bit of a, you know, bit of a spurg for a while. You know what I'm saying? But as long as over time that's going down, I don't see an issue. Because, like, obviously, ideally, we can just flip a switch and we just stop all the bad habits like that. But, like, everything, it does take time. And don't beat yourself up about, like, relapsing and, like, you know, you tried to stop but you couldn't stop yourself. Like, it's gonna happen. But on the same regard, you shouldn't be super lenient either and be like, oh, well, I don't feel like resisting, so I'm just gonna play. Like, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. That's just a coping, right? You know what, it's a very hard balance to define, to be honest, and I'm still figuring out that balance. Like, I'm still figuring out a lot of this shit. Like, I've been on self-improvement for like 2 years now, 2.5 years. Well, I started when I was 16. Now I'm turning 19 in like 4 months, so I've been on it for about 2 and a bit years. And you know what? You do have moments where you're just a bit dead. You're just a bit like, you just don't want to do it. Like you just fall back into your instant gratification. Like, it's very easy to. But as long as this is the thing, right? When you fall back into the bad habit briefly, right? As long as this time you indulged less than last time, you are still progressively deloading it. You are still improving, right? Because to go from like, you know, 100 to 0, like just like that, is going to be hard. Let's say, right? Let's say you have like urges to play games, right? This time you give in to the urge. You play for 3 hours, right? You get on like a 4, you end at 7. Next time you get the urge, you do 2.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, obviously, it's best to just not have the urge at all, right? And just, like, fight. It's best to just fight the urge completely. But sometimes you do give in. Now, this isn't an excuse to give in, right? Because now the lines get very blurry. Now you're like, you get an urge, you're like, oh, well, Hassan said that I should, you know, as long as I give in, but it's not as much as last time, it's fine. Like, no, you should still fight it. You should still fight that urge. If you know it's not good for you, you should fight it. And ideally, you just completely resist. But I do understand that, you know, being 100% all the time is unrealistic. You're not going to do that. No one's going to do that, right? You're not Adonis. You know what I'm saying? Like, not yet. Takes time, right? But, as long as you're getting better with it, as long as you're, like, progressively deloading it over time, and when you do indulge, it's not as much as last time, then in my eyes, you are making progress. You are getting there. But you have to make sure that you're actually doing that, because you can very easily trick yourself into thinking that you're making progress when you aren't, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous. That gives you a false sense of security and a false sense of progress, which, if you have that and you're not actually making progress, then you're not actually, one day you'll come to the realization that you've just been chatting shit to yourself and nothing's changed. And that's quite sad, to be honest. That's kind of depressing. But I honestly just progressively deload, find an accountability partner to do this with, and just don't lose hope. Use other guys who have quit as motivation. Because I don't play, bro. Like, I don't play at all anymore. The only times that I play would be with my brother, for example, and we got some family friends over. I will play like Super Smash Bros on like the Nintendo Switch. That's about it. I don't really like think that's that bad, because that's like social. I'm with my family, you know, we're just messing around. It's when you're like sitting in your room by yourself. That's when it's bad, right? And you're just on the call with some friends, but you're just talking about the game. Like, that just doesn't, like... It's just a bit of shit, isn't it? And I mean, I feel like I used to feel kind of bad afterwards, especially when I started to come to the realization that I know it's not good for me. I would feel quite guilty afterwards, and it would kind of linger in my mind. Bro, that's what happens to me right now. Actually, when I do any bad habit, it just lingers. It just lingers in my head all the time. Like when my mindset is fucked, it will just linger in my mind, and it will kind of follow me for the rest of the day. Just when I'm doing my normal activities. But yeah, I hope this was helpful, guys. Thanks for listening if you got this far. If you want to join Discord server with my Discord server with some of the boys and the girls, then check out the description. I'll leave a link there, and that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.